At Celtic Park tomorrow for a 3 o'clock kick-off against Kilmarnock. It's starting 11 prediction time. Here we go. Yes, folks, welcome back to the channel. First things first, I'm struggling with a wee bit of a cold this week, so if you wonder why my voice sounds so strained, that is why. We come into this game against Kilmarnock tomorrow, still 9 points clear after that 2-2 draw at Ibrox last week. No getting away for the fact that we didn't play very well on a day. The first 25 minutes, we looked really in control. It looked like we were going to go on and win the game at a canter, but the momentum really shifted. And then we were poor. For the rest of the game, we were really, really poor, even up to the equaliser. You didn't feel like we were having long, concerted spells of pressure, like we were going to get the goal. But we did. It kept us 9 points clear. That is the main thing. And we get a rare opportunity tomorrow, playing before Rangers, to extend that gap to 12 points and really put pressure on them, going to Tannadice on Sunday afternoon. Ange Postecoglou in the press conference today I thought was excellent, particularly when asked about the penalty decision we didn't get for Goldson's handball. There's absolutely no way that these things, as they call them, are going to even themselves out between now and the end of the season. Given how many high-profile calls have gone against Celtic since VAR was introduced, there's absolutely no getting away from it. I couldn't have put it any better myself, and as the manager said, we've come out with points in every single one of these games. Only 1 point last week because we managed to get the late equaliser, but we've won in all the other games where we've had handball calls go against us, 2 in our box, 2 in the opposition's box, and there's been zero consistency between any of them, and they all just so happen to have gone against Celtic. So I don't think it's worthy of any outcry that Celtic are looking for some sort of explanation and consistency when it comes to handball decisions, because between Bernabei against Dundee United, O'Reilly against Ross County, the Michael Smith one with Hearts that we didn't get, and the Goldson one last weekend, they're all handball calls of different varieties, and as I say, on all 4 occasions they've gone against Celtic. So I think the manager was absolutely spot on. And listen, do we expect it to improve? I don't know. I think subjective calls like that in a VAR setting against Celtic, for Celtic, I don't really see them improving where there's sort of areas of grey. I really don't. But we'll wait with bated breath on that. So Kilmarnock come into this game, 1 league defeat in their last 5. They found a bit of decent form after a tough start this season. We're going to be seeing a lot of them, obviously. We play them in the League Cup semi-final at Hampden next weekend. This game tomorrow, as I say, is a great opportunity for us to go 12 points clear, add that wee bit of pressure to Rangers playing on Sunday. The last time we faced Kilmarnock, we played excellently on the day at Rugby Park. We won 5-0. A similar performance to that level, I think, should seal the points for us tomorrow. But it'll be interesting to see the team that the manager goes with. That's what we're here to talk about. Here's what I think it will be. We'll start in goals, as we always do, with Joe Hart. I came in for a bit of criticism last week, obviously. I think the game did turn. There was a huge swing in momentum after he made that mistake where Morelos comes to close him down on a kick-out. We were debating after the game about how critical the manager would be of him in that situation. I don't think he'd be so critical, because I think we've seen in Leipzig that when the ball kept going back to Joe Hart and he made the mistake, and was very keen to point out that the defenders in front of him put him in that situation. And I think there's a wee bit of that last week, because even though it's Hart's indecision that invites Morelos to come and close him down, he doesn't have a passing option on, and that's why he delays. So I think there's a few people culpable there. But as me and Kenny discussed in a video a few weeks back, I'd like to see us think about succession planning in the goalkeeper position. Joe Hart's been good for us. I think if we get to the end of this season, it's a nice natural juncture to try and bring in whoever the next number 1 will be. Could it be Siegrist? I don't know. Could it be young Toby from the B team? If the club have future plans to make him the number 1, but difficult for a young keeper at that age to make an impact at Celtic. I think that's a position we should be looking at, because Joe Hart isn't getting any younger, and I think that is an area we could make some improvements in. At right back, I think Alistair Johnston will get the nod. I think a surprise inclusion at Ibrox for some people, but I think after you read the team, it made sense, because we know that Ange likes to spring a surprise in these games, and he's got a habit of throwing people in at the deep end. As Johnston said, it was a baptism of fire for him. They don't come much harder than that in terms of domestic games for Celtic, and I think he looked good. I think you can tell the intensity that he's got about his game. He's a really physical player, gets about the pitch. I think he'll adapt and develop in that inverted fullback position that's so key in this Celtic team. But I think he looks a good player. Juranovic obviously came on, played at left back. The manager saying he didn't start because he wasn't quite 100%. It was obviously a really poor performance for Juranovic, no getting away from it. He was playing out of position. He is just back after a short break following a World Cup. There's no doubt I think he's going to be on his way out the door, whether it be this month or in the summer. I don't think he's going to be here long term, and I think that means Ange Postecoglou wants to go forward with Alistair Johnston. The centre-half pairing will obviously be Carter Vickers and Carl Starfelt, provided they're both fully fit. Still undefeated in the league, starting together. The two of them defended well last week. I thought Carter Vickers was absolutely outstanding. We talked about him at length in the post-match pint. Starfelt a few dodgy moments on the ball. He was one of those players guilty of turning it over too easy, particularly in the second half. But I thought the parts of defending that he had to do through the game in terms of winning headers, winning some tackles, I thought he did them well over the piece. Gave a few cheap fouls away, but as I say, those two as a partnership, still undefeated, playing more than a year together in the league, and there's got to be something to that. At left back, I think Bernabei will play. A great opportunity for him with Taylor out. Ange said that he wanted to go with Juranovic off the bench after Taylor got injured last week, to go with someone who has the experience of playing at Ibrox in this fixture, funnily enough. So I think it's a great opportunity for Bernabei. If Taylor's going to be out for a couple of weeks, the manager reckons it's a chance for him to go and impress. He's got development to do. I think we've all seen that in the appearances he's made at Celtic so far. He's got lots of development to do, but you can see the raw attributes there of a really good fullback. And the more minutes he can get under his belt, the better. In midfield, I've stuck with the first choice three of McGregor, Hatate and Matt O'Reilly. I wouldn't be surprised to see Aaron Moy start the game. He was excellent against St Johnstone and against Hibs, and again when he came off the bench last week at Ibrox, he really helped us in the game. Could it be a chance to maybe give Hatate or O'Reilly a bit of a rest and let them come off the bench later in the game? It could be. I've just went with the first choice three because I can't decide who of Hatate or O'Reilly would get a rest if the manager chooses to give them one. So that's what I think the midfield will be. On the right hand side, I think Liel Abada will start this game. I think he was unfortunate not to start last week. Some sort of debate about how much the bug that was in the squad last week caused problems in terms of the starting 11. James Forrest started kind of out the blue. I don't think any of us really seen that one coming. I know that he's been decent. He was decent against St Johnstone, James Forrest. I do think over the course of the Celtic career, he's not had many excellent performances at Ibrox or against Rangers for that matter. I don't think he was excellent last week either. I don't want to be too hard on him. I know that he's not played a lot of football. He's come in and out of the team this season. It's only natural that you don't play at your absolute highest level when your minutes are so intermittent. But I think Abada will get the nod in this one, and I think on the left-hand side we'll see the return of Jota to the starting lineup. He's another one that came off the bench on Monday at Ibrox to good effect, involved in setting up that equaliser for Kyogo. And listen, again, I don't know. I know the bug affected him for the Hibs game at Easter Road. I don't know if it was still the case on Monday, but we've got to get him back in the starting lineup because Maeda's been brilliant. I think this could be a game where Ange might rest Dyson Maeda from the start, but I thought last week he was excellent, took his goal really, really well. Not the kind of goal you associate with Dyson Maeda where he's got time running through in the goalkeeper to finish it well. That's the sort of technical side of his game that we think can be better at times, but in the last couple of games he's been absolutely brilliant. I think the confidence he's taken from the World Cup has done him the world of good, but I think Jota will get the nod. And this one we could see Maeda start, maybe Jota will start on the right, Maeda will continue on the left, and we'll see Abada on the bench again. But I think we've got to get Jota back in the starting lineup. There's no two ways about that. And through the middle, it'll be the man in form, the player of the month, Kyogo Furuhashi. 15 goals in 18 league games, still averaging a goal every 78 minutes in the league. Massive for him to get that goal, not just in the context of what it meant for the team and maintaining that 9-point lead at the top of the table, but to get any monkey off his back that had started to develop about, well, he doesn't score against Rangers. He was on the periphery of the game. As you expect, he's one of these players, I keep saying it, who needs the game to come to him. He needs the team to be playing well, creating chances for him. He's trying to be elusive and find space until the ball can come to him. And by no means am I comparing them in terms of ability, but I watched Man City the other night, and Erling Haaland is the same. His instructions are obviously to find the pockets of space where the ball is going to arrive and be in the right place at the right time. And you see him finish so often for low crosses in and around the 6-yard box. And I think Kyogo's role is the same. And I think it's kind of remiss of us to expect him to be involved constantly in the build-up and have lots of touches. He's in great goal-scoring form, and I expect it to continue tomorrow. So there you go, that's 11. I think Ange will play it against Kilmarnock tomorrow. Like this video, comment with your own thoughts on the team below. Who do you think will start? And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you've recently subscribed, thank you. Welcome. We've had a great response, firing past 37,000. So if you watch all the time and you aren't subscribed, please click the red subscribe button below, and we'll see you at Celtic Park tomorrow after the game with all of the full-time reaction. Cheers.